Hello everyone and welcome to the 2022 Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. We're here with a first round feature card out at Fountain Hills, and you're probably thinking, but wait, didn't I already see the star-studded cast on a feature card? Well, you did, but we had another one lined up just in case. If they didn't get it done, we assume this card would, and I promise you it's well worth the admission. We've got Anthony Barela on the tee of one. AB just inside the circle. You see his good friend Adam Hammis, and you might be thinking, wait, haven't I seen Adam and AB battle in a few other Arizona tournaments this year on this channel? And the answer is yes, you have. They each have picked up a victory. Spoiler alert, at the Shelly Sharp along with the Maricopa Open. Just the right amount of speed there for Adam Hammis. Joining the card, Peter Lunde out of Norway. After the PCS Sula Open, Peter and I and quite a few others had a good time hanging out into the wee hours of the evening in Norway. Now, he doesn't necessarily realize it, or should I say actually the gallery back at the tee didn't realize that pushed all the way out of bounds. You can go deep on the left side here. So Peter starting out OB. And Linus Carlsson out of Sweden is the fourth gentleman on the card, and he goes deep and wow, rides the OB line, but then stays safe. And really not much you can do from back there except for layup. Well, I mean, of course you can go for it, but I don't know if anyone wants to start off their tournament that way. But that is the way to start it off. Barela, birdie, hole one. Fountain going off in the background. We'll see that probably a few times throughout the round. Fountain goes off every hour on the hour. And then based on a gauge inside of the fountain, it will determine just how many jets it uses, whether it's one or two jets, and then that will dictate how high the fountain actually will shoot up into the air. So the windier it is, the less likely it is that they'll have the jets running higher, and therefore it won't be spraying around as much. Beautiful sight. Not such a good taste. I have not picked up any foreign languages since the last commentary session a few hours ago. I apologize. And that's the site. Big shout out to Discraft, of course, our presenting sponsor at the event, along with Spinners on the Green. Barela just going to play it safe with the wide forehand. There's just a couple of par fours on this course, this being the first one, and then hole 8 being the other one. Nope. Coming in hot. Almost hits one of our newer cameramen, but Ryan jumps out of the way and it keeps going. And I will get some shout-outs in right away. A couple great cameramen trying to get as much action and coverage as we can this weekend. So Dustin and Ryan, Spicy Boy, John, Dylan, Gary to the O. Big thanks to everyone as part of the extended crew this weekend. The largest crew I've ever traveled with, honestly, to give you guys coverage.
Oh, you're so good. Good thing at the inside.
And that one sits after connecting and ricocheting off the tree. And I say it every time, that tree is just a really good landmark. Of course, if you're going just outside of it or barely just inside of it and you're slowing down, then you're probably going to find yourself around the circle. OB is about 35, maybe 40 feet left of the pin. And that's just about 30 feet. This is the second to last card to go out on the day. See some light winds, and that's a park job there. The hole, when it was all said and done, averaged 4.04, so just a little bit above par for the day. When we were out here on Wednesday, it was dead calm. There's absolutely no wind to speak of, and today, feeling somewhere in the 5 to 10 mile an hour range, and Anthony Barela doesn't care. Solid start for AB. Adam's looking to match. Double check the wind read here. The one thing you can't do is miss this on the right, have it hit something like the right side cage, and then possibly roll down into the right. That Adam cares about misses. Peter trying to erase the bogey he picked up on one. No problem, and Linus looking to do the same. So that's a star frame and a great start for this card. All complete with the par 4. We're going to move over to the very, very easy hole number 3, just shy of 300 feet. There is OB, and this hole parallels hole number 2. So if you were to hang it out too far to the right, a wide right shot, if you're throwing a righty backhand here, you could find the out of bounds. Adam reprimanding himself. Oh no. And just that looks like it's going to be out of bounds just barely. So quite a mistake early here by Adam. About 20 feet or so. Oh, shoot. I should probably get my meters on, shouldn't I? I'm going to say that's about 6 meters. We'll go with that. I think that's less than 2 meters. That might even only be 1. Nice shot. See a sizable gallery for the other feature card. So Adam brought it inbounds. The line you're seeing in front of him, of course, that's the 10-meter circle. Sometimes referred to as circle 1, and Adam's going to save the par. If you're new here and you're unfamiliar, that 10-meter circle means you cannot fall forward during a putting motion. You have to maintain your balance, stay behind your lie and your supporting points. All behind the lie, I should say. And with the invention of U-Disc, we've forever referred to that as circle 1. And anything from 10 meters to 20 meters is commonly referred to as circle 2. $10 meters is, I don't know, 32 feet, some odd inches. 32.8 maybe? Look at me trying to do math while these guys are just collecting birdies.
I'm Garrett Girthy. People know me as Double G. I've been making Double G craft jerky since I was 16 years old.
When I have Double G's craft jerky and I pull it out of my bag during a round, the first thing anyone asks is that Double G's craft jerky? And I always bring the big bag because I know I'm gonna have to share it.
I'm a big fan of beef jerky, and I have to say that Double G beef jerky is absolutely my favorite I've ever found.
I'm always looking forward to digging my hand in my next bag of Double G craft jerky.
You can find Double G craft jerky at doublegjerky.com.
And when I leave some for you, you can find a little Double G craft jerky coming your way. I'm going to be giving some away throughout the entire weekend. Honored to partner up with Double G and the rest of the crew over there. So this plays as an island. You must find yourself inside that barricade. And that's going to be out of bounds. He's going to move to the drop zone with penalty. A little bit deep. So at 250, knowing the previous hole was 294, you're looking to throw almost the exact same shot with just a little less power. See if Adam makes the correction from the previous forehand on 3, and he's done just that inside the circle. And again, if you're new, sometimes when you go out of bounds or you miss a mandatory or something of that nature, you may be forced to go directly to a drop zone and play from there with penalty. Sometimes you go from where you were last in bounds, and other times you are instructed to go to a drop zone, and this is one of those cases. So very punishing if you do not find yourself in bounds off the tee. AB trying to go 4 for 4. Not going to say his birdie train hit a wall, but I mean, if we're calling it like we see it. Hammis now will match Barela at 3 under. Since I have no other feature cards that you haven't already seen between this one and the one previously released, I'll again let you guys know right around double digits and creeping into that 11, 12, 13 category. That's usually what we would consider a good round out here if the wins are down. And at this point, as these players have gone out, the bar has already been set. The pace has been set, I should say, at 11 under. There's a couple of competitors that went off much earlier in the day that have already come into the clubhouse at 11 under. So that at least gives everybody a rough idea of what a good number looks like. I feel like double digits is something you should be scoring out here almost every time if the wins are down. And Peter's going to stand down for just a moment. This one plays downhill. It's a really protective tree that blocks the basket. Or sometimes if you throw too hard, hitting the tree and then just getting it to trickle down isn't a bad play. He would have loved to roll 5 feet past that or 10 feet past that, but that's the tree I speak of. The flower bed area where the sign for the course or the sign for the park is, along with all of that landscaped area on the right, is out of bounds as well. Adam doesn't love it, and it's because he's put himself out into the road. And that's going to be out of bounds for Hamas. Thursday afternoon, March 3rd, when this is taking place. Temperatures high 70s, maybe the low 80s right now. About 3 o'clock when they teed off. And that's going to be short, but yeah, okay, probably in a safe zone. Leaving himself out there deep in circle 2. The grass is a little extra grabby. Yeah, I think I said that right. It's a little extra grabby out there right now. You're not getting a lot of ground play. Very different from what they'll see during rounds 3 and 4. Where you're certainly playing the skips out at the Vista del Camino course. How many terrible puns and jokes could you make around this electrical box? Something about being shocked if you were to make it or not. Got an electric putting game. I don't know. You guys, instead of me making all the dumb jokes, which I know that's what you expect here on the channel, how about you put your best pun or dumb joke? Call it a dad joke, call it a dumb joke, call it a bad pun. I don't care. Put that in the comments. I might have to give away a bag of jerky just based on that. And Adam really struggling to find what his line is here. That's his current position. Okay, I'll stop. I swear. I can already hear my haters in the comments talking about cringy dad jokes. Here's Barela from outside the circle. Count it. He'll go to 4 under through 5. And probably a little separation between him and Adam as Adam's looking at a bogey. Peter's got 28 feet. And only threw it about 27. Hole 5, to my surprise, actually played at 2.88. I guess if I do some sorting, we'll see how that ranks overall. I can't imagine this is one of the easier. It's not. So although it played under par, it was still played as the 5th most difficult hole on the course. And I was going to say, I feel like this is a little bit of a bonus. With that tree, with the OB, the electrical boxes, all of those things, that's kind of a bonus birdie. AB 6 going up with the spike hyzer and gets it to stack. Perfect landing. And that also checks up. That's where it can get really dicey. You see a lot of discs come in anywhere near the basket. They hit, they catch edge, and it's very easy for them to roll that 30, 35 feet down the hill and straight OB into the road. So if you're going to miss, you need to miss a little bit left on this hole. Okay, or you could do that. Comes in a couple feet. Yeah, certainly close. And it is completely blind. You have no idea just how good your shot really is until you walk up the hill. So that's something to keep into consideration here. You're relying on your trust and your practice as to exactly where you want to put this one. And Hamas comes up short, but he's still just about circle's edge. He's going to back off for just a moment. There's a good amount of traffic that circles around this beautiful Fountain Hills Park. And now he's got a couple of birds razzing him. And this isn't your standard, 35, 32 footer. This has plenty of danger behind the pin, and it all pays off for Hammes. He's going to move to 3 under. This being a pretty good position to be in. Coming back up, a little less danger with the putt, and unfortunately, Peter doesn't convert. AB with the little tap in, a little tappy tap. Not sure you could ask for a much more beautiful backdrop. If I were smarter or more researched, I'd tell you what mountain range that is, but you guys can make up a name if you want. They're going to move on. Short little peninsula hole, hole number 7 coming up. Just 210 feet. Oh, and that is low. And the red flag. So he hit the green side of the peninsula and then actually scooted back. You'll see the position that he's given. And here hanging out a little bit wide for Linus. And this is a shot you don't see that often. It's a very gentle righty backhand throw, like we saw from the first 2 players. And then a few players are starting to go up and over, high left side, playing the big high spiking forehand. But that low kind of line drive forehand didn't work out, or did work out, but that one by Peter, the backhand, not so much, and that's going to dip into the water. Linus had stayed in bounds. So AB connected with this side. That's why he's getting the spot here on this side of the peninsula. And as you heard, good save. That's a great distinction to make. We heard him ask if it was the water that defined the OB. Every tournament plays a little bit different. Some tournaments will say a rock line or a grass line or a concrete or otherwise. Like sometimes it's a curb versus grass. Whatever the situation is, always know exactly what is defining the out of bounds. And in this case, it is the water. Oh no, and that's water on the other side.
Out. I just want to pull it so it doesn't sink. Yep.
So keep in mind, in a scenario of this type, he could actually just re-putt from that position if he wanted to. Now, he's opting to go to the other side. You can always go from where either you were last in bounds or from your previous lie. So if he really did like that putt, or he liked the wind, or was favorable, or maybe it was actually a little bit shorter than this one, he could, in fact, re-putt from that previous position. He's opting to go to where he was last in bounds, but always keep that in your back pocket. Sometimes you may have a 10-foot putt that rolls 50 feet and then goes out of bounds. Rather than going down to that position, putt from where you previously were. Either way, unfortunately, that's 2 OBs, and that's going to result in a double bogey here for Peter. Meanwhile, Adams just hanging back, waiting to collect the birdie. I'm not going to lie. You go back 10 years, I know I have a putter or two in there. Practice rounds. Yeah, I didn't do it during the tournament, of course. As we get a quick pan over at the fountain at the top of the hour. Big shout out. Resistance Disc. I believe they're running a code, DG Guy, that will get you free shipping on anything over $30. Thanks for the support here of the coverage. One of their sponsored players, and Adam Hammis up and over, and that's a crush. That is great positioning to attack that peninsula green. You don't want to be exactly pinched up against the tiniest tree on the course, but still good distance. And you'll hear a few players talk. Sometimes this tee can be a little bit difficult to manage. Whether it's too slick or too grippy. And I believe some of the challenges that come from the concrete tees, even on this course, are when the water comes out of the fountain and it lands on the tees, with what's in that water, reclaimed wastewater, it sometimes, I think, can break down and, we'll say, affect concrete and some other surfaces more than just regular water does. Ooh, trying to pull the Kona Panis from the 2021 All-Star Weekend. Well executed. Again, there's not a whole lot of obstacles out here once you get past the initial hill, but AB finds the little tree that he straddles away from, and easy forehand. And when you have a drive like this, I cannot state it enough that drives like this make this hole very manageable. It's when you're 50 or 75 feet back, do you have a much more difficult landing zone and just overall attack to the pin. You have to control your angle so much more. And so with these guys with 4 great drives, looks like they're all in position for the birdie. We've got the challenging hole 9 left, but I also want to get it in there that, you know, the transition screen some of you guys have been seeing, and a few of the other sponsors and people that have jumped on board are all what make this coverage possible, along with my Patreon supporters. I'm going to have special giveaways for them throughout the entire weekend. So thank you guys so much for the support, and also to the slew of gentlemen that came from Wisconsin and the Midwest to help get us as much coverage as possible here this weekend. It's a big undertaking, and we're glad to do so, and thankful to Keith and Spinners on the Green and Ashley and crew for having the Disc Golf Guy channel out here covering the action. Hole 9. Maybe one of the most daunting, yeah, I'm going to say it, the most daunting holes on the course. You can't entirely see the pin when you're standing on the tee. Sometimes you'll see players run up or run way off to the left so that they can see the end result of the drive. And that's also going to be safe. I'll spoil it for you guys. Hole 9, the most difficult hole on the course relative to par. In fact, it came in at a 3.5. So this hole played the toughest relative to par out of every hole on the course. Let's see how aggressive Peter wants to get. That low line drive that gets a couple of skips, that's usually going to be your best bet. Needed a little bit more height, though. So he'll get to take it from there. And again, putting from the peninsula. And you cannot take this shot for granted. The water is about 20, maybe 25 feet around the pin. So you have to have just the right amount of touch on this layup shot. Thankfully, it's not too windy. But we've seen a lot of layups gone wrong throughout the last 15 years or so here. So Peter's still a long ways away here. And I feel ya. Yeah, he's had enough of these peninsula holes. A guy from Norway, I mean, I think one of the most famous peninsula holes I've ever seen was in Norway a few years ago. Oh, I don't like this at all. And unfortunately, that's going to be a double bogey for Peter. If you guys wanted to take one guess as to who the one birdie was on this hole, all right, go ahead and take a guess if you wish. And I'm going to warn you right now, if you don't want to see any other scores from any other cards, you probably want to shut it off now. I'm going to show you the hottest scores through the front 9, regardless of what card they were on. We're going to show you that right now. And we're going to close things out. So thank you for joining. Like, share, subscribe, leave some silly comments. That's how you're going to be eligible to win some stuff. And I just can't say it enough. Thank you so much to our supporters and sponsors here of the coverage, along with the incredible crew. So that's what you're seeing for the scores. That is everyone through 9 holes who had the hottest front 9. Some exciting stuff up there. We'll catch you guys for the back half in just a few moments.